FedEx Forum and the American Home Shield Studio. This is The Odds Couple on GrindCityMedia.com. Handicapping all the football action, here's Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
Hello, good people. Welcome to The Odds Couple. Another week of the SEC, the National Football League, and the first week of the Pac-12. We welcome you to the program. I'm Rob Fisher.
Big Ten.
That's what I meant, the Big Ten. Thank you. We don't need to start all over, do we? Big Ten is what I meant. Thank you. Pac-12's coming in at a later date. Welcome to the show. John Roser is in the house with us.
What's up, Fish?
How are you, sir? Good to see you.
Buckeyes are back, baby!
Buckeyes are back. First half Buckeyes are back.
Making money season. Let's go. Making money season.
CJ Hurt here in the studio as well with us. CJ, great to see you as always. Thank you, sir.
Always a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.
And, of course, Lang Whitaker joins us again from the Grind City Resort and Casino. I mean, you keep winning. Why not, right?
Yeah, but after last week, I think the manager's ready to see me get out of here. I got into the lobby the other day. They had all my stuff, piled up by the door, ready for me to get out of here, get back to Memphis. Hey, by the way, Pac-12, Pac-10, Big 12, whatever. As long as the SEC is going, that's all we need right now.
That's right. And we got plenty of SEC action to talk about. Lance Taylor will join us as well from Birmingham and talk about the action coming up this weekend. But first, what did we learn last week, Roser?
You can't stop Alabama's offense. If Georgia's defense can't hold them under 40, I don't think anybody can. And man, Jeremy Pruitt, you better find a quarterback. You better find one fast. He doesn't have one.
Yeah, I don't know if he can find one that quickly.
I don't think he can either.
Lang, while you were resting on the beach, what did you learn?
I learned that Georgia's kind of deja vu all over again. We've got a kind of a backup quarterback who's become the starting quarterback and probably not good enough to get you over the hump. And Georgia's Kirby Smart actually is going to be in the same place he was last couple seasons unless he can figure out what to do. Do you stick with Stetson Bennett and maybe you're okay? Or do you try to get JT Daniels in there in 2 weeks when you get back to action? So I think for Georgia, we saw Stetson Bennett's okay, but just like Jake Fromm, he's not really enough to get you to that next level. And for Georgia, they reach a point where they're going to have to make some tough decisions.
Yeah, man, it's almost like was there a quarterback they had on their roster a couple years ago who might be able to win the Heisman Trophy this year and might win the national championship?
Fields, I wish they kept him.
That's right. That's right. They did have one.
Yeah, they've had plenty of them. A couple of things I learned. One, Mike Norvell fixed the ATM at Florida State.
Yes,
so congratulations
he did.
to that
congrats
one.
to Mike Norvell.
Also, Wake Me Up Before You Go-Go with Wham. Wake Me Up Before You Go-Go was the number one song the last time Kentucky won in Knoxville.
Wow.
How about that?
Did they win in Knoxville, or because that wasn't just a win what they did to Tennessee last Saturday?
Smacked them around
that was bad.
Yeah, it was really bad. And also learned all the quarterbacks' names from when Dan Marino was the last quarterback in Miami. Now that Tua is going to get the start next week for the Dolphins. Damon Heward, Jay Fiedler, Ray Lucas, Brian Greasy, A.J. Feely, Sage Rosenfels, Gus Frerotte, Dante Culpepper, whose jersey I am sporting today, Joey Harrington, Cleo Lemon, Trent Green, John Beck, Chad Pennington, Chad Henne, Tyler Thigpen, Matt Moore, Ryan Tannehill, Jay Cutler, Brock Osweiler, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and Josh Rosen. And now, Tua is the quarterback.
It's Tua time, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Tua time. Man. Why'd they wait this long?
Hey,
because now the team's playing well under Fitz, and everybody loves Fitz, and now all of a sudden you're just going to go out and change to the rookie now? It doesn't make sense now.
Well, it does make sense now because they were always going to make the move. They were always going to make this move at some point during the season. You do it when you got your bye week. That's when they're doing it. They do it when they got their bye week. Come on, dude. It ain't like you're
should have done it week one.
It ain't like you're watching the Miami Dolphins anyway.
What are you talking about? I'm wearing a Dante Culpepper jersey.
and you will watch the Miami Dolphins now that Tua's going to play.
Serious question. I think the over-under odds of Tua becoming starter was week 6. It's his bye week, though. So he's not going to play, but he was named starter. Do I get money if I pick Like
No,
on
because
that?
he won't start till week 8.
Okay.
Sorry, CJ.
It's not how that works.
But it was. Yeah, go ahead, Lang.
Well, I was just saying. Now the question is, how many games is he going to play before he gets hurt again?
Well, I said he would. I said he wouldn't make it half the season starting. Like,
And I think the over/under was 8.
well, yeah, which I hate. I said under on that, which I hate that. I hope he does. I hope
I
he
do
does.
too.
But,
I hope
the
he
guy
makes it all the way.
Yeah, but the guy has. I mean, he never showed at Alabama that he could really.
Yeah.
So I mean,
You know, I went to my first real game in person since March when the Grizzlies played Orlando back on March 10th. I went to the Tigers UCF game on Saturday. Weird. It's kind of weird going to a game these days,
saw a good one
but saw a great
and
game.
remembered how awesome it is sometimes to be in the stadium for games
Yes.
like that.
Wait. I saw the photos, Rob. You were in the press box.
No, I was in a suite.
Oh, come on!
But the window
Come
was open.
on.
That
Window's
doesn't
open. That doesn't count.
Yeah, no, I'm with Lang here. That
Window
doesn't
is open.
count. You got to be down there in the crowd with the other 10,000 people that were there.
He's Rob Fisher. He doesn't kick it with the commoners. Get out of here.
Oh my
That's true. That's
gosh.
true.
That's
I am
true.
a
He was
sweet guy.
You got the odds couple suite for the game. That's pretty nice.
That's right. That's right. Well, because you were at the resort, so the suite was open for the game. So went to the game, and it was a blast. And what a great game, and what a big win for the Memphis Tigers. A win that they needed, a win that they had eluded them for so many years against UCF. They get it, and afterwards, Ryan Silverfield said it was more than just a win.
I was walking up and down the sideline. I saw some heads down, and I didn't like that. And I told our guys, we got to keep believing. It's the way we won. Look, if I'd be lying if I said this game wasn't important, if it didn't mean something in the history of this program and what we've occurred, obviously, as you guys know, as a grad assistant there at UCF. But for our young men that know that I told them what occurred on that field tonight will carry over for the rest of their lives, not only because of the opponent we beat, and they're a hell of a team. Obviously, they gave us everything we could handle and more. But fighting through adversity, never giving up, that will carry a long way. And those lessons are just as important as coming away with beating UCF. But I'm honored. Obviously, so many great coaches came before me here at this program. I just hope it's one of many. As you guys will know, I'll watch this game tonight, and I'll probably stay up all night and get ready for a great Temple team.
Now, if you had UCF last week,
I did.
I didn't.
That was a tough one to take.
I didn't. Because everybody on the Grind City Pick'em always gives me crap on Twitter for never picking the Tigers to win a game. They're always like, you always pick against the Tigers. I picked the Tigers.
This week they got Temple. Tigers are a 13-point favorite against the Owls this week. Total at 72. Temple's gone over in four of their last 5 games. Memphis has been going over in a bunch, but all of their bad trends were all just stopped last week. They hadn't covered 5 of their last 8. They covered last week. Haven't covered 4 of their last 5 at home. Covered last week. Haven't covered 3 of their last 4 at home following a conference game. Covered last week. Now, head-to-head, however, Memphis 1-1 against Temple at home. Temple has covered the last 5 meetings against the Tigers, going 5-0 against the spread. And Memphis has scored just 7 offensive touchdowns against the Owls in their last 4 meetings. 4 of them came in the last game. But maybe the biggest trend of the week. The Tigers, when they play mascots with birds, they've won 9 of their last 11. However, both losses coming to the Temple Owls.
Well, let's be real here. The Tigers should not have lost to Temple last year.
That's right.
They got screwed in that game. Magnifico caught that ball. They 100% got robbed in that game. I've seen Temple a little bit this year. They're not the same team.
They're not the same lock you down defensive
They
team.
are not the same. I mean, they almost lost to South Florida. Yeah. In South Florida, we know they're not anything. This is not the same Temple team that we're used to seeing.
Yeah. Not the same South Carolina team either, Lang, as they knock off Auburn last week.
Yeah. What was the exact quote?
I believe Roser and I both
loved South Carolina straight up. Lang, you said South Carolina is not going to beat Auburn. I think that was the exact quote.
That was my exact quote. The quarterback, Colin Hill, I mean, he did it all for love. He turned it around for South Carolina. Look, Auburn, I think, is the big lesson I learned here. Auburn's not good. You know, they shouldn't have beat Arkansas, and then they had a 14-0 lead, I believe, in that South Carolina game, and then they just pooped the bed. So I think South Carolina's fine. I still don't think they're great, but I think Auburn is the bigger lesson here. Auburn's not good this year.
No, Auburn is not good. No, if you go back, you're right about the Arkansas game too. They were up 17-0 in the Arkansas game. Should have lost. Then you're right, 14-0 against South Carolina and did lose.
Yeah.
So even if they get these leads, they can't hold them.
Oh, and afterwards it was a great Will Muschamp.
Couple things. Hey, told you before we walked out of the locker room, leave no doubt. You know what? If you continue to fight your ass off like that, we're going to win a bunch of ball games. All right, that's number one. Number two, we won this game on Tuesday in team run. We won this game in Tuesday on tempo. We won this game in Tuesday and Wednesday on 1 minute. That's where we win ball games. Keep working your ass off. Later, turn it.
Oh, man. Let's go, Will Muschamp. I also feel like every South Carolina win that they get, I feel like it never gets reported because they're not letting anybody in the locker room to talk about it. I always feel like there's how like somebody gets the honorary game ball?
Right.
I feel like there's a nerd. There's always a nerd that they bring in the locker room, and instead of getting the game ball, that player gets to give them a swirly. I feel like that's how it goes with the Will Muschamp coach team. How many swirlies over under? Let's set the over under at 12. Do you think Will Muschamp is given in his life?
Oh, over. Well over.
The thing about Will Muschamp to me is like you forget he's been around the SEC for decades now. Not just as a player, as a coach, as assistant coach, coordinator at all these teams, as a head coach. Like he's been around forever. And he's never really been able to get over the hump. He's just kind of been an average guy at all these different places. He reminds me if Christian Bale got cast as an SEC head coach and he went in and put on like 40 pounds and got the gut and everything. Like that's what Will Muschamp is. And, South Carolina might be his last shot as a head coach, at least in the SEC. And I think if he doesn't turn it around now, if he doesn't get over the hump now, it's never going to happen.
Yeah, they're a 7-point dog this week to LSU. It's gone down to 6 now that Miles Brennan isn't going to play. Only 1 point for the LSU quarterback. South Carolina's covered 3 of their 4 games this year. 14-8 against the spread as a dog. 11-4 against the spread on the road. LSU, however, big trend here. Their last 43 losses, they've come back to win the following week 39 of those 43 times. Ed Orgeron, since leaving Ole Miss, following a loss, a perfect 10-0.
Yeah, this is a little bit different. So I've heard some of Orgeron's comments this week, and he has said basically they've had to dumb down the defense for his team because they don't know all the calls. His players aren't getting all the calls. So he has said basically if they have to play one defense against South Carolina this week, they will play one defense the entire game, but they're going to play it well.
Yeah.
So like they're not going to be switching things up, and with no Brennan. This does feel like if LSU's going to save this is a circle the wagons for LSU. You want to save your season, you need to win this game. But I'm kind of feeling the fighting Muschamps again this week. Like, let's go.
You want to hear? Yeah, go ahead.
If you remember, that's what LSU did against Mississippi State. They were only going to play one defense, and they were going to stick to man-to-man, and that didn't really work out so well. So no. I'm thinking maybe I think South Carolina might be on the right track here.
Yeah, I think it's a good spot here for South Carolina.
Yeah, we know Lang's not going to go against them twice.
No.
we know that
Yeah.
one.
You want to hear more excitement in the locker room? Big win for Kentucky last week as they won in Knoxville for the first time since 1984. Mark Stoops afterwards, and his players were fired up.
We got to lean on each other. We got to lean on everybody here. Everybody made a difference, and that's a fact. I greatly appreciate you. We talked about it all week. Plan for something bigger than yourself. That was evident. We wanted it more. We played for something bigger than ourselves. And I'm going to tell you, he gave us a great talk this morning. We haven't won here from 1984. How about another game? Hell of a job, guys. You come together, nobody can stop you. That's right. Hey, boy. We ain't won here in 36 years, man. Since 1984, man. Let's give a shout out to the head man and let us do it today, y'all.
I like South Carolina's better.
Man, remember after 2 weeks how everybody was feeling good about Tennessee?
Yeah, and how people felt about Kentucky.
Even after the first half of the Georgia game against Tennessee, Georgia, if you're a Tennessee fan, you're like, Okay, yeah, all right.
It was Georgia, you know.
And then
all
ever
right.
since that second half of the Georgia came on, it's just been, I mean, it's been an unmitigated
Oh, and then
disaster.
welcome Alabama to town.
Yeah. Get the Tide.
Kentucky's got Missouri this week. Kentucky's covered 9 of their last 12 games overall. Mizzou has lost 8 of their last 9 following a bye. Eesh. It'll be Mizzou and Kentucky. Kentucky 5.5-point favorite. Kentucky's won 5 straight in the series. Let's take a break here on the Odds Couple. When we come back, Lance Taylor joins us from Birmingham here on Grind City Media.
I love the haircut. They tell me you've been getting beat up over it, Zach.
They
the high top fade.
They say I look like I'm 25. I was in somebody said I was in Vegas. They said, "Is that Zion?" I said, "I paid away for little." I said, "That's my little brother."
Tune in to GrindCityMedia.com, Grind City Media on YouTube, or on the official Grizzlies mobile app to catch Chris live or download each episode daily, and subscribe at iTunes, Spotify, or SoundCloud today.
The debate is whether he's a star or a superstar right now, which is what the headline and sort of the tweet suggests. But I'm liking that discussion right now with Ja Morant at point guard.
Tune in to GrindCityMedia.com to follow Michael Wallace and Lang Whitaker as they debate the biggest topics in the NBA, the Grizzlies, its IMHO. Mike and Lang will share their humble opinions on the hottest league water cooler news, providing insight, analysis, and a little heat. Watch and read weekly by visiting GrindCityMedia.com or follow on Twitter at GrindCityMedia today. What's up, Grizzlies fans? I'm Megan Triplett, and I have some exciting news to share. We have a new app. That's right. It's a 3-in-1 experience that you don't want to miss out on. Check this out. The app will keep you up to date on all of the Grizzlies stats and latest news. If you're looking to see what events are going on at FedEx Forum, that can all be found on the app as well. Plus, if you want to see more of me and the rest of the Grind City Media team, like Chris Vernon, Lang Whitaker, and Mike Wallace, there's a section for all that. It is 365 days of content to keep you in touch with all things Grizzlies, FedEx Forum, and GCM. And did I mention you can also purchase and manage tickets on the app? The app does it all. Download it now.
Welcome back to GrindCityMedia.com, live from FedEx Forum and the American Home Shield Studio. Now, here's more of the Odds Couple, Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
Hey, don't miss the newest Grind City Media show, Rise and Grind, with Jessica Benson and Megan Triplett. This duo brings a fresh, fun, and energetic double shot of morning vibes to catch you up on the latest in sports, entertainment, pop culture, and everything Memphis, with some completely biased, unfiltered discussions and a side of slightly above-average jokes. Tune in to GrindCityMedia.com, Grind City Media on YouTube, or via the official Grizzlies mobile app to catch Jessica and Megan. You can catch them live or download each episode daily and subscribe at iTunes, Spotify, or SoundCloud today. Welcome back, everyone, to The Odds Couple. We finished last segment talking about Tennessee and that loss to Kentucky. This week they have Alabama against a Tide. Tide have won 13 straight against Alabama or against Tennessee. They've held the Vols to under 12 points a game, while averaging against SEC opponents this year over 48 points a game. Nick Saban goes for his 23rd straight win against former assistants this week. Why is he 23-0 or 22-0 at this point? Here's Saban.
Well, I think that's not a very fair stat. You know, all the former assistants that we have that get jobs, they don't take a program over that has the established, talent, culture, and all that we have at Alabama. So when they get the opportunity to establish those things in their program, they're going to be able to beat Alabama and compete with Alabama. So that's something that most of the time when you get a job, it's because the guy that was before you didn't do a very good job, so you have lots of work to do to bring that team to that level. And obviously, I think a lot of those guys are going to be able to do that extremely well. Some have done it already. So I think it's a matter of time until those challenges get greater and greater for us.
Saban's won every one of them by 14 or more points, except twice to Kirby Smart. It was held within 14. 21-point favorite at Tennessee. this week as Saban looks to go 23-0 against his former assistants. Joining us now, we go to Birmingham and welcome in from WJOX, host of the Roundtable at WJOX. He joins us each and every week. You can catch him on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor and his picks at lanceslock.com. Lance Taylor's with us. Hello, Lance.
Hey, fellas. Yes, I used to enjoy the Alabama-Tennessee rivalry, and it used to be one of the best in college football, and now it's just a bloodbath year in, year out.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And what a disaster for Tennessee last week. Last week I thought was a big one to not let Georgia get you twice, and it seems like Georgia got them twice, because if this team wanted to be, that next in line in the SEC East, you got to beat Kentucky, and now you got Alabama coming in, and it looks like a roller coaster just like last season.
Yeah, I agree, and it seemed like there was a lot of momentum going in the right direction, and played a pretty good first half against Georgia, got blown out in the second half, and then they picked right up from that second half of Georgia, and Garantano, before you could blink, it was 14-0. I mean, 2 pick sixes within 3 minutes. Tennessee was awful. 18 first downs, 3 for 12 on third downs, 4 turnovers. They get run off the field against a team they had beaten 33 of the last 35 times, and now they've got an Alabama team, as you guys mentioned, 13 straight wins over Tennessee, 11 of those wins coming by 14 or more.
Well, and you have Alabama's defense, who looked like it got a little right in the second half of that Georgia game, and you got a quarterback. I mean, it's going to be Garantano again, isn't it? I mean, I haven't seen if it's official, but it seems like that's it's going to be again, and we've seen what this guy's going to do. Like the first half line is Bama minus 11.5 or minus 12, and then the full game is like 21 or 21.5, wherever you want to get it. I mean, it just feels like you hammer Bama on both of them.
I agree, Roser.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you. I'm glad you agree with me. I'm glad you agree with me.
Did we lose Lance?
Oh, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. But, no, I agree with you 100%, Roser. I had somebody text me this morning, and they said free money minus the 11 in the first half. I've just got this feeling that Tennessee finds a way to cover this game. I do like Alabama in the first half. 21.5. Again, it looks too easy. I think Tennessee will, you go back to last year, and Garantano, if he doesn't make the mistake on the goal line, that's a pretty tight game. And, this Alabama offense is popping, but I think Tennessee, if Eric Gray's running the football, this Alabama defense did get right in the second half, but they still look lost at times. And, I think, they could have a bad quarter or two, and I think Tennessee could score some points. So, again, it looks like easy free money in the first half, but I think for the game, I'd lean Tennessee in this spot.
Lance, I wanted to ask you, being in Birmingham, you guys talk a lot of Alabama, you talk a lot of Auburn. How much talk about Auburn and just how average they look is going towards Chad Morris?
A ton, Rob. I think Auburn fans, they are done with Gus Malzahn. I don't think he can win that fan base back. I think it is just a given every year. It doesn't matter if you play a 10-game schedule or a 12-game schedule. He's going to find a way to lose 4 or 5 games. And to me, this looks like a 5-5 team, and could even be worse if they lose this weekend in Oxford to Ole Miss. But Bo Nix is just a quarterback that can't get it done on the road. I mean, you look at his 6 true road games. He's 2-4, 7 touchdowns, 8 picks, including 3 last week and a loss to South Carolina. Now they're taking on an Ole Miss offense that wasn't good last week against Arkansas. But I think Matt Corral and this offense can score on this Auburn defense, which it just seems like an atypical Kevin Steele defense. And it was so bad for Auburn, they took a bus back from Columbia, a 7-hour bus drive back after the loss to South Carolina, and that's just something you don't see in the SEC. This is how bad things have got for the Auburn Tigers.
Wow.
Let me ask you this, and I'm sure, I don't know, have y'all started already talking about this down there? Hugh Freeze is going to be the next head coach at Auburn, right? Like that has to be a given. They have to hire him. Well, he's proven he can beat Alabama, too. So,
and I brought it up. I brought it up for a couple of weeks. He'd take the job right now. He's 5-0 at Liberty this season, and he's doing it with the cast-off quarterback in Malik Willis, who played at Auburn, who's a better quarterback than Bo Nix. Yeah. So, Hugh Freeze, whatever the transgressions were, who cares? Hire the guy. The guy can win. Auburn's a much better program than Ole Miss, and, I think that, obviously he competed with Nick Saban in the West, had him 4th and 26 against Arkansas away from going to the SEC championship. So I agree with you.
Yeah. Lance, Big Ten's back this week. Excited? Can't wait? And who are you looking forward to seeing?
Well, I don't know if I would say can't wait, but I do like more and more teams coming back because we got more games.
Yeah.
Michigan and Minnesota should be a fun primetime game. Outside of that, the one game I'm really taking a look at is Penn State heading to Bloomington to take on an Indiana team with Michael Penix at quarterback. 7-point game last year. No Micah Parsons this year. He opted out. Journey Brown has got some sort of injury, so he probably won't play. I think Indiana's got a great shot at an upset here, plus the 6.5.
Well, especially with Penn State having Ohio State next week, too. So they could be you typically think the first week of the season you're not going to have a look ahead. I don't think Ohio State will be looking ahead to Penn State, but there could be some of Penn State looking ahead to Ohio State.
Yeah. Lance, in the NFL last week, you loved the Steelers, and boy, did they come up big last week and covered by over almost 4 touchdowns against the Cleveland Browns. Pittsburgh's got a huge one this week with Tennessee going on the road. It seems like the odds makers giving Tennessee a little love maybe for the first time because it's only 1.5 for Pittsburgh.
Well, you look at Tennessee. I mean, this team just finds ways to win. Yeah. And since Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill have been in that starting lineup together in 16 games, they're 13-3 and averaging over 30 points per game. Still think Pittsburgh's the better team. I would lean that way. Probably not my favorite game. I think that money is split 50-50 down the middle as far as the public goes. Lean Pittsburgh. I think they're the better team. Along with Roser, I had Pittsburgh in the Super Bowl before this season started.
Who do you like this week in the NFL? Does anybody stand out?
Yeah, I was taking a look at some different games out there, and, I think you're getting value with Seattle on the road against Arizona. We had Arizona on Monday night against the Cowboys game. Obviously wasn't close, but I think it's a different animal when you're going against that Seahawks defense. Kyler Murray, I think he throws multiple picks here. I think Russell Wilson's got something to prove, especially in division, and I think minus 3.5 on the road, I think you're getting a ton of value there.
Lance, tell people what they get if they go to lanceslock.com.
Yeah, Rob, I appreciate that. Really simple. You're going to get winners. Another winning Saturday. Really surprising. We were 2-3 on Sunday, so we've had back-to-back losing Sundays. Typically never do that in the NFL, so we will bounce back. We will have winners for you this weekend. Jump on board. We're already 1-0 in the World Series. Everything you get it. It's only $90 per month. Simple math, $3 per day. Get on board. Go to lanceslock.com. You'll never talk to anyone. We email you a password. And you get the plays every single day for only $90 a month. That's lanceslock.com.
Sounds great. Thank you very much, Lance. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you again next week.
See you guys.
All right, man. Lance Taylor joining us from Birmingham. And it's funny, this Titans team, all they do is figure out ways to win, and they win them late. Another one last week in overtime.
Yeah, no, it really is. And their offense is... Their offense is pretty stout. But their defense obviously has some issues. They've gotten it done. I mean, I didn't think they'd be able to bounce back like this. And maybe you look at it and you see what the Jets are doing in New York with Adam Gase there, and you see Adam Gase had Tannehill last in Miami, and it looks like Tannehill probably wasn't the problem. Adam Gase was probably the problem because Tannehill has been out of his mind with the Titans. Yeah, he's almost started. I think this will be his 16th start, and they are 12-3, I believe, in his 15 regular season. They're 12-3 in his starts.
I think we also should give Mike Vrabel some credit. I saw an interview earlier this week with Aqib Talib who was saying when you watch the Titans play, it's sort of like watching a Belichick team. They're really well organized. You don't really know the names of the guys. People make plays and are in the right place. And look at the play Vrabel made with a couple minutes left in the game where he took the penalty, gave the Texans a first down, but saved 40 seconds on the clock and ended up needing, they scored with 4 seconds left or whatever it was to send the game to overtime. So I'm a believer in the Titans. I think they're for real, and I think they're a team that I'm putting in my top 3.
Yeah, no, I think they are for real too. The AFC playoffs are setting up to just be crazy this year. I mean, a lot of good teams in the AFC.
Yeah, and this week's going to be a great one with Tennessee and Pittsburgh. Derrick Henry's just been a load for the Titans. He had a monster game against Houston, and here's Henry talking about his success.
Praising my teammates. You guys are incredible. A lot of guys made plays today. It just wasn't me. I just had to go there and do my job. And a lot of guys were big and critical moments. All my teammates. Just happy to be on this team. Happy to be part of this organization. We're 5-0. Playing good team football, no matter what, no matter how the game's going, we don't quit. We stay together and finish the game. So just happy to be on this team. All my teammates are doing an incredible job, and hats off to them. Ain't nothing about me.
Lang, you said they're in your top 3. Who are your top 3?
I'm still going Chiefs, number 1, and then I think Packers maybe, but they look so bad. I'd probably go Chiefs, Titans, and Steelers. So I thought the Steelers were a lot better than I expected them to be last week. I just their lines, offensive and defensive lines, to me were just bossing people around, and I think the Steelers are going to be a problem. That we kind of just get used to them because it's been the same coach, the same quarterback, the same system, everything for so long. But I think they're a team that people are kind of sleeping on a little bit.
Roser?
I do believe Lang is right on the top 3 teams. I think Pittsburgh's the best team in the league. I'll say Pittsburgh, Kansas City, and then I'll go with the Titans right now. A reminder that I saw this on Monday night so in 2013, Derrick Henry, Kenyon Drake, Alvin Kamara were all on Alabama's roster as backup running backs. They were all 3 backup running backs.
Yeah.
To T.J. Yeldon, who was starting.
Yeah. Always look for that Alabama backup.
Kenyon Drake, Derrick Henry, and Alvin Kamara. They were all 3 on Bama's roster, and they were all 3 backups.
Wow.
What is that?
The top 3 NFL teams may be a little easier this week than top 3 SEC teams. Roser, you said last week it's a fluid situation with the SEC top 3. So your 3 this week, is it still Alabama, Georgia? And if so, where do you go third?
Yeah, Alabama, Georgia are the top 2 teams. Alabama, obviously after last week, you have to say Alabama 1, Georgia 2. The third, we're going South Carolina right now. We're going because Florida may never play again.
And South Carolina's the only team that wins games on Tuesday.
The only ones. And Florida may never play again. We don't know when Florida's going to play again.
Lang, who's third?
I'll go one better for you, Roser. It is a fluid situation. After the Alabama-Georgia game, the fluid was Tito's. But I can tell you this. I got Alabama 1, I got Georgia 2, and then number 3, yes, sir!
Let's call the Hogs!
Arkansas. Look, the Razorbacks should be 3-1. They should have beat Auburn. They got screwed out of that game by a bad call by the ref. So, Ballpark Franks has not been pedestrian. He's been okay. Right. He's been pretty good. And then defensively, they've been able to kind of change what they do from game to game. I saw Pittman was talking about it earlier this week. They've kind of figured out what to do. Barry Odom, defensive coordinator, and they're willing to make changes and do different things each week. I think Arkansas is a pretty good team.
I'm with you. I think Arkansas is a pretty good team. That's a very good call.
My third ends with a question mark. Texas A&M?
No.
I mean, they are 2-1 now. They got a big win last week, and they did, beat Florida. Right?
I mean, they could be.
I think you got an argument for a lot of teams.
It is possible. I would say because we talked about this with Lance about Auburn. If I'm Auburn, once Malzahn's going to be gone, and I would say if they lose this weekend to Ole Miss, I mean, you pull the trigger. You just have to go ahead and do it. And Chad Morris, by the way, is their offensive coordinator. Now head coach at Arkansas, offensive coordinator. This dude just can't work. This dude was a total creation by Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson clearly just made this guy.
What's amazing is you look at his numbers going back to high school. Every team he left got better when he left. High school, college, all. Every program he's been to has gotten better when he left. I mean, Arkansas didn't look like a team that should field a team the last couple of years. They look like they can play. And now Auburn's offense is as pedestrian as it can be, and Bo Nix only survives in RPOs, and they don't run RPOs. Well, I mean, Chad Morris is a disaster.
No, and this is what you do if you're Auburn. If you make that move quick, you call Hugh. There are 2 coaches to me you look at if you're Auburn. It's Hugh Freeze, one, who has proven he can beat Alabama. The second is somebody in the SEC is going to get Mark Stoops out of Kentucky. That dude has done an amazing job at Kentucky. What he has been able to do there, he's had their best recruiting years they've ever had. This guy wins games there. That's another one. But the reason I say this for Auburn, why you got to grab Hugh Freeze, you better grab him before Tom Herman gets axed at Texas, and Texas goes and gets Hugh Freeze.
Yeah.
But they may want Urban Meyer. So
yeah, no, I'm with you on Hugh Freeze. I think that'd be a great hire for Auburn. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We got our picks still ahead here on The Odds Couple on Grind City Media.
Hey, yo, happy Friday. It's time to rise and grind. I'm Jessica Benson.
Did you say hey-yo, hey-yo?
Hey-yo, hey-yo.
I'm Megan
It's a Friday. Come
Yes.
on. We have a big show lined up for you today. We've got all sorts of things to talk about within the NBA bubble, NFL updates, college football updates.
We got to get to some pop culture news. It's the music, the entertainment, everything going on.
All the stories to get you through today and into your weekend.
Rise and Grind with Jessica and Megan. Live daily at 8 a.m. on grindcitymedia.com.
In everything we do, defensive activity, offensive execution, play together, have an edge about us. Just play with an edge. Play with an edge and play together.
Morant, for Jaron, blocked by James. Dylan Brooks with authority. Tyus Jones to Brandon Clark. A turn and gun. He got it. Jones for three. Jones blocked by Jaron.
Yeah, stay together, Blue. Stay together. Way to roll me, kid.
Let's leave it out there. John Morant with elevation.
Once a week, get your basketball fix with Talkin' Grizz featuring me, Kelsey Wright Johnson, and media from around the NBA as we discuss draft topics, prospects, and more. Connect with Grind City Media on all their social channels, subscribe to Grind City Media YouTube, and follow Grind City Media on Twitter and Instagram to stay up to date with all things Grizzlies.
Welcome back to The Odds Couple on grindcitymedia.com. Live from FedEx Forum and the American Home Shield Studio. Here's The Odds Couple, Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
Get the Grizzlies delivered to your door or virtual meeting or your inbox. We miss you, Grizz Nation. Until we're all back at FedEx Forum, we want to meet you where you are, whether that's a Grizz appearance at your outdoor socially distanced event, a Grizz Girl pop-in to lead a brief brain break in a virtual classroom, or a pre-recorded video message delivered to that special someone. We want to make life a little brighter and a lot more Grizz-tastic. All your favorite Grizz family members, including Grizz Girls, your in-arena MCs, and even your grannies and grandpas are all standing by and just a few clicks away. Visit grizzlies.com/on-demand today and make your request. Welcome back, everyone, to The Odds Couple, getting you set for the latest week in the SEC, week 5 in the SEC. Also, the Big Ten returning this week, and the National Football League, another big week. We'll have our picks coming up here in moments. But first, one other big one in the SEC, Ole Miss hosting Auburn this week. We've talked about Auburn and what a mess they are. Ole Miss, not necessarily a mess, still pretty good offensively, maybe not so much last week, but Lane Kiffin said not all bad from last week's loss.
You can't turn the ball over like that and expect to win. Was happy to see our defense play a lot better, play with energy, make turnovers, have good emotion and execution. So that was good. And, at least it wasn't us losing another game by a big score. So to me, like the message to the team is it shows we could be really good. What if we play offense like we had prior to this game and then played defense like today? We'd be a really good team. So that'll be the goal, to get it all put together.
If the team is from the state of Mississippi, you rush 3 and you drop 8. And it seems to be the key against Mississippi State and the key against Ole Miss. But Auburn, they do things maybe a little different.
They do things a little bit different. Yeah, I think Ole Miss is going to win the game straight up. So,
I do too.
Yeah, I think Ole Miss wins the game. I really like the over. I really like the over because I think Auburn can score. I think Auburn will be able to score against them.
Head-to-head 4 of the last 5 that have been played at Ole Miss have gone over. 7 of the last 11 in the series have gone over as well. Ole Miss, 3 of their 4 games have gone over, including their last 2 at home. And Auburn just 1-3 against the number so far this year. They have won 6 of the last 7 and 31 of the last 37 against the Rebels. It is time for our picks for this week, which include that game. I'll go ahead and get started with Fish's 5 this week. Yeah, I'm going against the Tigers again. I'm going with Temple. It's just I'm sorry, Roser. Maybe people will get on me. They haven't. Too big of a number, 13. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Both these teams are prone to go over. It's a big number for the over, and if it does, I think Temple keeps it within 2 touchdowns. I think Memphis wins the game, but I'll go with Temple to cover. Love Alabama to cover. Taking Ohio State to cover, that's a massive number as well. But Ohio State, they've started behind everyone. They need to show, and they need to come out and show it right from the get-go. I'll take the Buckeyes. I'm going with the Steelers minus 1.5 in Nashville against the Titans. Titans have just been living on the brink and pulling games out week in and week out. I think that runs out this week against Pittsburgh. And I'm going with the Bears. I love their defense, and that's too many points against this Rams team that they squeak by opponents as well. Lang, Down at the resort, what you got for us this week?
I'm staying with Memphis. I got to go with Alabama. I think Tennessee and Auburn are two teams that are just primed to implode spectacularly. Tennessee actually fired their defensive line coach this week, which is not probably a good sign. So I think Tennessee and Auburn are both going to get whacked this week, and I think Alabama's going to win by way more than 21. I think Ohio State, same as you, they got to show some things. They got to go out there and put big numbers on the board. And then, like I said, I believe in the Titans. I think they're a good team, and they're at home. I'm going with the Titans. And then I don't think the Bears are good. I've watched them a lot this season. I know their record says they're pretty good, but I don't think they're that good, and I think the Rams are going to win that one. Roser.
All right. I am going to go with Memphis also. Memphis goes back-to-back weeks. They're going to put up 50 points right here. I think a 51-31 win for the Tigers over Temple of the Dog. I like Alabama to cover this one, Lang. I think you're 100% right. I think Alabama can name their number if they want to. We know they're going to score in the 40s because, if they score in the 40s against Georgia, they're going to score in the 40s against Tennessee. I think Alabama wins this 48-17, something like that. I think it's an easy cover. Ohio State the same way. I think they can name their number against Nebraska. The only thing that would worry me a little bit, I don't think they're looking ahead to Penn State next week, but Ryan Day and Scott Frost kind of like each other now because they were both the two that really pushed to get the Big Ten to have a football season. Scott Frost because he wanted to play. Ryan Day because he knows he has it might be the best Ohio State team that they've had in the last 6-7 years. So that's really why he wanted to play. But I think Ohio State can name their number on that one. I'm thinking 45-12 or something like that. I get
the old 12.
Well, let's keep in mind on this one. Nebraska ran for over 200 yards against Ohio State last year. Ohio State beat them 48-7.
Right.
So it really didn't matter at all. In the NFL right there, I will take I think the Steelers are the better team, so I'm gonna take the Steelers. But again, the line's 1.5. So it's basically almost a pick 'em right there, but I'll roll with the Steelers. And then I'm going to take the Rams minus the 5.5. I don't know. I still don't believe in the Bears, but I really don't believe in the Rams. I should take the Bears because this feels like a field goal game, and I'm taking all chalk, and that worries me. But, yeah, we'll go with the Rams.
CJ, what you got this week?
Give me them Owls. I'll take Temple. I think that line is a little too large. I think Memphis wins, but Temple will be right there with them in a close game. Is Jared Garantano going to be the Tennessee quarterback?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then, give me Alabama. I don't say that other team's name, but that school in Ohio, sure, they're back. They beat the hell out of people, especially Michigan and everybody really in the
Bet you
Big Ten.
can't wait till December 12th.
Oh, my God. Oh, gosh. So, yeah, they'll win. Not excited to say that. But, hey, the Steelers. Give me them. I think Mike Tomlin is a top 3 coach in the NFL. He'll find a way to disrupt the Titans' offense, find a way to stop Derrick Henry and force Ryan Tannehill to beat you through the air. And I'm not sure if Ryan Tannehill can do that. We've seen him play really well when Derrick Henry is going off. Let's see what happens if Derrick Henry has a pedestrian day, rushes for 86, 87 yards, something like that. Let's see if Tannehill can do it then. I'm with you, Lang. The Bears aren't good, but that defense, I think, might be elite. That defense,
question mark?
That defense is really, really good. That offense, on the other hand, are they bad? But I think that 5.5 in that Rams game is too large a line. I think the Rams win, but the Bears cover that 3.5. I know Indiana has Penix coming back, and Penix is big. They got a really big Penix, but I'm going with Penn State in that one. And give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Tampa Bay -3 this week as well. Rosa, where are you going off the board this week?
I would say I'm with them on the Bears. I'm with you on the Bears. I do think this about their defense is super talented, but I do think with the Bears is that, dude, if Trubisky was their quarterback, their defense wouldn't look like this. They'll play for Foles. They play for Foles. I think they like Foles. Yeah. I think they hate Trubisky. They just weren't going to play for that dude anymore.
Like Bears fans.
We're getting back. Like Bears fans. We're going to get back to Johnny first half.
Yeah, my favorite Johnny.
Johnny first half. We're taking Alabama minus the 11.5 in the first half against Tennessee. I think it's 12 now. You may still be able to get it at 11.5. Doesn't really matter. Alabama should be up 28-0 at halftime, 28-3, and then we'll roll with. Got to go back to the Ohio State Buckeyes minus 14.5 in the first half.
Easy money
against Nebraska. Yeah, I think Ohio State may be up 35-7 6 at halftime. 35 it could be 35-0 at halftime.
Lang, what are you doing off the board this week?
I'm going over on the Alabama-Tennessee. The number 66. Alabama might score 66 on their own. I would not be surprised. Then let's go under on a game. Let's go Virginia and Miami. Last 2 years, these teams have combined for something like 25 points in the 2 games they played. Also, it's one of those ACC games no one's really going to be watching anyway. It's just all defense, It's so I thought we'd go under on one and have some fun with it. And then I got to go load up the car, guys. I'm coming home.
Yeah! Well, we'll see you here next week, man. Look forward to that. My couple of picks this week, I'm going with Ole Miss. I like Ole Miss straight up. I'll go ahead and take the 3 this
Rebels.
week. But, I'm with you guys talking about Tennessee and how Tennessee might be able to implode. And, Lang, you said it earlier, Auburn could be a team like that as well. I agree. I'm taking Ole Miss plus the 3. And then I'm taking the Packers. Weird line, fishy line, hate the line. They're in Houston taking on a miserable Texans team. Green Bay only a 3.5-point favorite. Coming off the loss, I think Green Bay rebounds big time this week and covers that 3.5. So those are the 2 that I'll take as well. All right, Lang. Any exciting plans for your last few hours at the resort?
I'm going to go sit by the pool, maybe get a little sun, continue to soak it in, and then pack it up and come home.
Well, sounds good, man. We'll see you next week. Thank you, sir. Roser, always a pleasure. Thank you. CJ, thank you, sir. Thank you, Kimball, behind the scenes, for helping us out today as well. That's going to do it for this week's edition of The Odds Couple. Enjoy all the action this week. Next week, we'll be back to talk about Week 9, Week 6 in the SEC, and Big 10 underway. Pac-12 at some point. We'll talk to you next week here on Grind City Media.
Listening to The Odds Couple from the American Home Shield Studio on GrindCityMedia.com. Tune in next week for more football handicapping with Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.